Chapter 45 finally cements the idea of aliens being in Naruto and Boruto, and in this video we are going to discuss whether the Juubi is an alien or not. So if you're new to my channel, subscribe and hit that notification button because I will be making Boruto videos on a weekly basis and you won't want to miss these discussions because a lot of the predictions that we have made have came out and turned out to be true. So is the Juubi an alien? Actually, the concept of aliens was introduced back in the introduction of the Sage of Six Paths, when he was first introduced in the flesh when Naruto was fighting against the Juubi, Madara and Obito. Now, when Hagoromo first appeared, he basically told Naruto that he might be an alien of some sort and that Naruto is not really far off from identifying Hagoromo as an alien. Now, it did say that his mother comes from a far away place, and a lot of people, because of chapter 45 of Boruto, have been pissed off at the idea that aliens do exist, but this concept has actually been revealed in Naruto for a very long time. So personally, I do not understand where the confusion comes from and why they are pissed off that aliens do exist. And the thing is that the creators are world building in Boruto and Naruto. This means that they will add new concepts in it here and there, so that whole thing doesn't make sense to me. So back to the point of aliens existing in Boruto. Within the novel of the first Boruto movie, it does confirm that Momoshiki, Kenshiki, and all the other otsutsuki travel from dimension to dimension. And in there is a brief description that mentions that they do travel into these worlds with different types of life. Now, it does say that when they traveled to Earth, they were kind of surprised that the life on Earth had some kind of intelligence. So if that is the case, that means that they have encountered life forms before that live on the planet and that they have siphoned from, who do not have any intelligence. And I feel like one of these life forms could possibly be the Juubi, but then it begs to differ whether the Juubi is created by the Otsutsuki or whether it is a life form which they have enslaved and use in order to siphon chakra from other planets. Now, first, when Kaguya was introduced, she was said to have fused herself with a god tree and therefore giving the god tree some kind of life and turning it into the Juubi. Now, the difference between Kaguya's Juubi and the Juubis that we have seen in general, which are two, is that Kaguya's Juubi has a multitude of forms and has a Rinne Sharingan. Now, this Rinne Sharingan was said to have came from Kaguya because she fused with the tree, thus giving the tree the dojutsu. But now, according to chapter 45, the Juubi that we see, or the Juubis that Amado talks about, are basically used to siphon chakra from any planet that they are put on, meaning that possibly it could be that these Juubis are already alive and already have a Rinne Sharingan. That could possibly mean that the Rinne Sharingan is actually a result of, a person eating the chakra fruits, thus allowing them to use the Sharingan in general, because it has been established in chapter 45 that once you eat the fruit not only contains power and chakra, it also contains genetic information. So I feel like the Otsutsuki clan are not necessarily born with a rinnegan, they are still born with a byakugan, but once they eat the tree or they get some kind of product from it, they unlock or awaken the rinnegan or Rinne Sharingan. As it was stated in chapter 45 that they do use it to evolve, so therefore it would make sense that eating the fruit unlocks the Rinne Sharingan, and this was kind of hinted when Kaguya first ate the fruit in the fellow episode that we saw. Now, here's what I think the Rinne Sharingan is and why it is actually a Kekemura. Because it is a Kekemura, I think it basically means that the Rinne Sharingan is a step above the Rinnegan, right? So if they eat the fruit, it does allow them to evolve. So that means that Kaguya possibly already had the Rinnegan already, because if she didn't, how would she be able to teleport to Earth in order to start the harvesting of the chakra? Let's talk about Kaguya Otsutsuki. When she was set to first appear on Earth, all the information given to us in the manga is different compared to the information given to us in the anime. In the manga, she was said to have come from somewhere and ate a fruit in order to gain chakra. Right now, the thing about the Otsutsukis that we have learned is that all the Otsutsukis already possess the ability to travel from dimension to dimension, and that is only possible with space-time ninjutsu. Space-time ninjutsu has been connected to the rinnegan, meaning that Kaguya Otsutsuki does already have the rinnegan. And if we actually go back a few chapters in Boruto, it has been said that Otsutsuki's travel in pair, and based on the murals that we have seen in Jigen's little base, we can see that Kaguya Otsutsuki out of the pair was the one who had the rinnegan, right? And there is no signs that Ishiki Otsutsuki or Jigen have shown to have or possess the rinnegan. So therefore, that means that Kaguya Otsutsuki already had the rinnegan before she came on Earth. And if that is the case, then a lot of the Studio Period's adaptation in the anime makes absolutely no sense and can basically be classified as not canon, right? And the other thing I'd like to mention is the fact that Amado did say that the fruit not only gives them chakra but gives them genetic information. This means that possibly what the Otsutsuki do is once they eat the fruit, it allows them to evolve by generating all the genetic information of all the living beings on the planet and adding it onto their own. This in turn allows them to evolve their powers. So I feel like because Kaguya already had the rinnegan and she appeared on Earth, eating Earth's fruit allowed her rinnegan to evolve into a Rinne Sharingan. I feel like that is the only way for an Otsutsuki to achieve a Rinne Sharingan. The other head scratcher that we have is the fact that Zetsu mentioned that Kaguya merged herself with the trees, thus giving the tree life, right? And if that is the case, does that mean that in order to create a Juubi, you need to find a god tree and then merge it with someone's life in order to create a beast that absorbs chakra from the planet? Or are these beasts already existent with a will of their own? That we do not know, and I think it could be either way, because if we look at the murals that Jigen has, there are a few other Otsutsukis on there that are missing, so it could possibly be that Jigen has captured these Otsutsukis and fused them with the god trees in order to create Juubis. If that is the case, right, that would be absolutely madness. That would mean that Momoshiki and Kinshiki are doing so with the other Otsutsuki clan members. Because if you look at this world right here that Momoshiki and Kinshiki are at when they are harvesting the fruit off of god trees, that means that they've basically captured a lot of Otsutsuki members and turned them into Juubi. So I think that whole theory about, you know, them putting other life forms inside of a tree in order to create a Juubi could possibly be dispelled. And if that is the case, then that kind of debunks the entire thing about Kaguya fusing herself with the Juubi in order for the tree to unlock a Rinne Sharingan and so on and so forth. Now, let's talk about Jigen, or Ishiki Otsutsuki, and his entire plan for the Earth. Now, it has been confirmed in chapter 45 that what he plans to do is to use the Juubi to siphon chakra from the Earth. Now, the reason why the Juubi is being guarded and Amado knows nothing about that Juubi is most likely because Jigen is planning to do something with it, and we obviously know that it is siphoning chakra from the Earth right now. The reason why I think the Juubi is being guarded by code is because that Juubi right now is not siphoning chakra from the planet that it is on. In fact, it just looks like it has been captured and subdued to stay there until Jigen has any use for it. I feel like that is basically the case, because if the Juubi was siphoning chakra from the planet that it is on, then basically it would turn into a tree, right? And we would see some kind of, you know, fruit growing after it has siphoned a little bit of chakra. So yeah, I think that is the purpose of that Juubi there. It is just a cage that Jigen has managed to put the Juubi in, and it's waiting for the right opportunity to put that Juubi somewhere on the Earth so it can start siphoning chakra. Finally, the last revelation that I will give about this whole chapter is possibly the identity of the Juubi. So since we know that Juubis are basically trees and possibly are of sentient life before someone even merges with them, that could possibly mean that this tree right here that Jigen has captured is possibly from Momoshiki's world. Because remember, first when Naruto, Sasuke and the rest traveled to Momoshiki's world in order to obviously fight him, we could see that there was a tree there that was cut after Kinshiki freed himself and sliced a huge area in two in order to go save Momoshiki. That there is a god tree that possibly has a Juubi underneath it. So it could possibly be that this Juubi right here is the tree that Momoshiki put inside that world and was possibly going to use it to siphon the chakra of the Earth, because it was mentioned in the manga that the truth is that Momoshiki was planning to plant a god tree, another god tree, on the planet Earth. So that could possibly be it. But then again, it kind of makes sense that this Juubi that Jigen has is just one of the multitude of Juubis that exist already on planets that have already been siphoned, right? Because in episode 15 we did see Momoshiki sitting down eating fruit of a multitude of trees that we can see in the background. So that basically means that that Juubi is not special. But then again, because that Juubi has been given a lot of highlight, we can expect something special coming from that Juubi, and something extreme being revealed about it. More proof that alien life exists within the world of Boruto is basically extra description within Boruto Novel 4, where it goes into detail about the world that Momoshiki is seen harvesting in this picture right here. So it says, rather than an apparent orchard of god trees, the stump of the god tree that Momoshiki harvested is located in the heart of a ruined metropolis brimming with corpses. Corpses are people that are dead laying there on the floor, for those who do not know, and it notes that Momoshiki effortlessly destroyed the world and its entire population that existed before. That is solid proof that there was a civilization there before, and that their corpses have been drained of their blood, thus allowing the god tree to further bloom. And it says, for no other reason than to harvest its chakra fruit, is basically why Momoshiki killed all of them. And Momoshiki describes the fruit as adequate for a world with such a low civilization level, meaning that even though the world had civilization there weren't that many people, meaning that whatever fruit that Momoshiki is eating was not enough for him to evolve to the next level. And that basically proves that the reason why they keep harvesting, obviously, or the reason why Momoshiki targeted Earth, or the reason why Kaguya became so powerful after eating the fruit of Earth, is because the Earth is brimming full of life. And maybe that is why her eating the fruit of Earth allowed her to evolve her rinnegan into a rinne sharingan. Furthermore, it basically says Momoshiki deems race that he killed as a worthless heap, when considering the abundance of chakra that could exist on a world whose inhabitants were able to defeat Kaguya Otsutsuki. That is all the proof that you need of alien life existing in the Boruto universe. So in summary, it doesn't make sense for people to hate on the Boruto anime and manga because aliens do exist, because this has been a concept that has already been introduced in Naruto. It is nothing new. Secondly, the whole thing about Kaguya fusing with a tree in order for it to come to life is something that has been debunked. So Studio Period's adaptation of Kaguya's origin in the anime is basically just false information. And the fact that Otsutsuki's travel from planet to planet and there is another intelligent life form out there that is not humanoid could possibly prove that the Juubi is actually an alien life form, as it has been said in the novels that Momoshiki and Kinshiki have encountered different life forms before, and that the ones on Earth seem more intelligent than the other ones. So it could be, like I said, that the Juubis have just been enslaved by the Otsutsuki and they used them to harvest chakra from planets in order for self-gratification and evolution. And finally, the Juubi that Jigen has could possibly be either an Otsutsuki member who he has trapped within the Juubi in order to bring it back to life, if we are going with Studio Period's version of what a Juubi is, by fusing someone's life with a tree. But then again, that is debunked by the fact that there are millions of trees planted on a planet where we see Momoshiki and Kinshiki harvest the fruit. And then finally, the fact that eating the chakra fruit gives you genetic DNA, thus allowing Otsutsukis to further evolve their abilities into new powers. So with that said, I'm going to ask you this one question. I want you to answer it in the comment section down below. Now that we know that the chakra fruit gives you not only chakra, but also gives you genetic information, what would happen, do you think, if someone from Earth, an Earthling, actually ate the fruit? Do you think they would unlock a rinnegan? Or do you think they would unlock something else? And the fact that it has been established that aliens now fully exist in Boruto, right? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that we will be introduced to other life forms except from the Juubi and the Otsutsukis? Click on the left where I talk about the different realms within the Naruto universe that you do not know of that the Otsutsukis actually roam in, and click on the right for the magic system being explained in Black Clover.